Boom! And we're live. I'm live here with my man, Rotten Glory. Dude, I love I love the midday repartee in general, but today's was a good show too, man. Like you're knocking these out of the park, man. Time and time again.
Seriously?
I think
Thanks.
so. I think so. Yeah.
Well, I think we're having a good discussion. I'm really enjoying getting to meet, like, every once in a while someone I've never talked to pops in there and I get to, meet them, and it's all, you just build that network out, and that's
I
the
like
cool
that
thing
it's
about CG.
yeah, it's like a pointed discussion. Like you have something in mind, you're ready to talk about something, and you have some good voices out there, and
Yeah.
and then you have like people like me who just shit talk and try to just liven it up a little bit, just keep it from being
Dude.
completely dull. But I really dig it as a thing, and I like that you're routinely hitting the same time slot. Like, and I feel like that's kind of an open area right now, like in this overfilled clusterfuck live
Yeah.
streaming that we
That's
got
what
going
I
on.
knew. I felt like I could pull it off with my work schedule, like, and it was not really a slot that people were taking, so
Mm-hmm.
it's been a lot tougher than I thought, though. Like, it's kind
Oh, I'm
of
sure. Yeah,
it's wearing me out every day. Like,
I noticed.
I'm
I
adjusting.
noticed. I noticed you were a little worn out on Friday, man. Like,
Oh, Friday was a whole other deal. Yeah, dude, that was a culmination of a week that just kicked my ass.
mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, it's another job. It's another job for sure to be doing this.
Yeah, I'm putting in 20, at least 20, sometimes 30 hours a week on Comicsgate, stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like your background, by the way. That's a great background.
it's rather nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like you
Yeah, I
swiped it
don't
from
know.
somewhere.
Some assholes doing this art. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, do you actually like it though? Like, cause I feel like I kind of want to get into talking about Twitter with you. I feel like even though I think we started around the same time, you've been
Yeah.
more diving into that realm than I have. Um,
Um.
but I kind of felt like there's been a fall off on like the amount of interaction I've been getting this like past month or so. I don't know about you, but I looked at my analytics, man. It's pretty ugly.
I don't. I've never looked at Twitter analytics.
I try not to. I try not to get too caught up in chasing the numbers, but I was like, whoa, what the hell happened?
Yeah, I think the best thing you can do on Twitter is actually post legit, thoughtful comments to people. I'm not talking about the
Mm-hmm.
drama shit. I'm
Yeah,
just
I've
saying,
I've
like,
been staying out of that.
if you really engage people in conversation and really give them feedback, and that's something I haven't had much time
Mm-hmm.
to do lately, and it impacts the
Where do
level
you
of.
divide your attention as far as what you focus on, like when it comes to you?
Right now, I'm just all about trying to get the YouTube platform
Mm-hmm. Well, dude,
going,
you've
and
been
it's
doing
like
good.
so,
You've been doing
so
solid.
slow, though. It's
It is,
like,
but I mean, you've been doing, and the thing is, every number you get right now, that's
yeah,
like a good number. Like it's not like you just like had some hot stream, all of a sudden a bunch of add-ons with people who are just going to fall off in the next week. Like these are
yeah,
people
it's
just like
true. I feel
buying
like
into
if
it.
Yeah, I feel like if I get a subscriber now, it's likely someone who's actually going to engage.
Yeah,
So
you're the slow burn. Like when
that's
you
for sure.
finally when you get really hot, dude. Like you're gonna be hot. Like it's not just like a flash in the pan. All the fuel's burned up. You've used all your steam. I think like you'll have a good solid base to keep going off of on that.
Yeah, I hope so, man.
I think so.
I'm getting more people. Like, I've had two people this week reach out to me to want to help them promote their book.
There you go, man.
So I'm getting more engagement like that, and
Mm-hmm.
that's helping creators like succeed. That's basically priority one right now. Of course, I'm stepping into that creator side of the fence with ink spots, but, like, it's all about. I think success in CG is all about what you can contribute on that front in terms of helping other people succeed. That's where your focus should be, and then your secondary focus is helping yourself succeed. I think if you put the one first, that's gonna actually help you in the end.
Comic Mark says he doesn't like you in color. I like him in color with that background. I think it's a good color scheme right there.
Yeah,
with mail
I dig the
comments.
black and white thing. I mean, I have to do the black and white thing really because I
Bandwidth.
can't use the green screen when I'm hosting.
Uh,
My computer doesn't like it. It's actually locked up on me a couple times, and it takes like 20 minutes to recover when it
yeah,
happens. So I can't risk it.
yeah, I
So
get
I
you,
just
man.
go black. If it wasn't
I
black and
like
white,
it though.
I'd have this ugly green sheet
I
hanging
kind
down. It's
of
like,
dig it as a style, just like it
yeah,
sets you. It's your own signature, you know. Like when it's a Rotten Glory show, you're gonna be in black and white. I like that.
yeah, it's
If you can
fun.
start like adding like a noir element to it as you go
Yeah,
along, you know, like one of those old timey like lamps on the desk. You start smoking on stream, like you just have that stream of
that's
smoke like
smart.
filling up the room, you know, something
I
like
like
that,
that
man.
too.
Yeah.
That's. Yeah, I'm also, I'm happy that it. I'm actually happy that it takes so much time and energy to build a platform because I'm
Well,
still,
yeah. One
I
of the
haven't landed on my, what I
mm-hmm.
need to be doing, how to do this well. So
Well,
I'm
that and
glad.
like I feel like you're bound to fuck up. I feel like I fucked up on some
Yeah,
of my first live streams, you know, and I'm like I'm so glad it's not like there's not like 1,000 people watching as it
exactly.
happens, you know, like it can be forgotten possibly. It can always be
Yeah.
dredged up, but you
Like
know,
if
at
a
least it's
thousand
kind of
people had
buried.
been there on Friday, I mean, how
Yeah,
humiliating.
exactly. I tried to
So
make the best of that situation while we were there, and we moved over to Ink, and he got struck down for some kind of kung fu
I
thing.
saw that. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
yep. They played like he said. He said on your show today. He's like, I played 12 seconds of kung fu. I talked over it the whole time. It doesn't take
Yeah.
much, man. I'd be very scrupulous on what I used, man. Like at
But why
all.
don't they
I would only use
just
my own content if I had to.
do a copyright claim? Why do these fuckers have to make it a strike? Like, why do they have to take it down? It's so
Mm-hmm.
absurd. Just claim
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Fine, claim it. What is the point of striking it down?
I know,
So
but that's the
absurd.
way it is, and it kind of feeds into your whole thing of like what you're talking about today, where it's like the mainstream versus the independents and all that. Like when YouTube first really like kicked off and became big, and Google bought it, like a lot of the big companies weren't putting their own content on here. Like you had a lot of tertiary people who liked whatever show it happened to be uploading clips, and then
Yeah.
like slowly it wasn't as good as like weaning them out immediately. You could still find that stuff. Whereas now, like they have their algorithms, their content processing thing will just like wipe it out before it even uploads and stuff like that. And now it's like you go to the trending page, that's all it is. It's like the corporate content, like all the commercially backed programs. That's all you'll see on that front page.
Yeah, I
But
know.
like
It's
10
funny.
years
Yeah.
ago, you couldn't find a minute of like any of these broadcasts anywhere. And it's like they
Yeah.
realized, oh, there is money to be made. There is content here to be seen. And we've been leaving it to the peasants to like rake up the cash, you know, and get those spots. And
There's
slowly
no
like
money. There's no money in YouTube. I mean,
not really anymore.
Google runs it out of.
There's no safety in it anymore either. Like
No.
I said, like in one of your last streams you had last week, I was like, you know, this place is run like a tyranny. Like this is the whole reason why you have a constitution, why you have a bill of rights. Like you can know your accuser, you can know why you're accused, and you can stand a trial. Like YouTube offers none of that. You've been stricken for
Yeah.
violating community guidelines. What the hell does that mean? Like you don't even know how you violated it, and it just
Yeah.
leaves
And
you
then
open
if you
to
try to
another one.
argue it,
Yeah.
it actually, as I understand it, a lot of the time, it goes to the person who struck you to make the
Mm-hmm.
final judgment on whether
Exactly.
that was a
Exactly.
legitimate. It's like,
And
are you fucking
what
what?
is this? Yeah, I mean, it lends nothing to the content creator at this point to try to. And I know
Yeah.
I talked to Ink about it. I'm like, man, I just wish there was somebody else who was as good at it as YouTube was. Like that's the
It's
main
not going
thing.
to
Like
happen because it's
BitChute is not going to be the replacement. I tried just finding people I want to find there in their search function, and
yeah.
that has been problematic. And it's like, dude, if you can't get that down, there's no way you're going to get it down like at all. And so
It can't happen because it's not a profitable model. It doesn't work.
yeah,
It
so
costs
for
so
me,
much. It costs so much to host all of this and run it.
mm-hmm,
Google can do it. They want to absorb it, so they have that control over the biggest platform.
yeah, yeah,
So they keep everybody here, but it's under control, and they can just kick people as they see fit, delete shit. control content, and they're willing to do that at a loss, so they have that control, you know. But
Right,
like
right.
these other offshoots, they're never going to get there because it's not a profitable enterprise. It just isn't. So it is
Yeah,
what
dude.
it is.
But I've been digging your shows big time, and I
Thanks, man. I
watch.
mean,
Yeah, I watch them all.
I you know I just think it's nice to have a an actual intelligent conversation about topics and not. I really don't I don't want to get into the shit. I don't want to get into the shit storm that is Comicsgate, right now with all the stuff. And that would probably get clicks. It would probably get views. But I just don't. I think it's valuable to have channels that aren't doing that. You know,
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, and the other thing with Twitter is like, how do you decide, like uh, like I know there's some people who won't follow me unless I follow them.
Yeah,
Like I've had people follow me, just follow me, and I follow them, and it like I'm kind of like Kelsey Shannon in a way. Like I'm very scatterbrained. Like I'm doing like four things at once, and I'll mean to look at somebody, follow them back, and I'm like, oh well, let me do this other task. And by the time I get back to Twitter again, like it's out of my mind until I see them pop up on a feed somewhere. I'm like, oh yeah, I meant to follow that guy, and
yeah.
then I'll follow them. And it's like, oh, they followed me again. I'm like, wait, what the? I thought you already followed me, dude. And like, there's very much this tit for tat thing. But
Yep.
my
I,
my whole
it
approach,
goes up and down all the time, and it's like
Mhm.
I think it's like
Dude,
some
like,
people, it's like if they follow you, they expect that refollow like right
mhm.
away, and then they just take it away if you
And
don't. It's like,
I
well,
try to
you're
look at
low, you're
random.
you're not a quality follow anyway, so piss off.
Maybe
Honestly,
I try to always look at their Twitter feed and see like what they're doing, because I'm always looking for people putting up original content, which is what I try to do. I'm
yeah,
always putting up my own pictures more often than anything else. Like I'll retweet people who I'm, closely related to, like their streams, or if there's a project I'm really feeling the energy on, like I'll retweet that too. But it's largely I try to keep it like I'm adding something to it rather than
yeah.
just redistributing something that's already out there. And
I
that's
get
been my
that,
approach.
but there is value.
Oh,
There
for
is
sure. But I
value
mean,
in.
by the time I've got 10 of those people in my feed, like I'm just getting the same stuff over and over and over again. Like you would have to be
I get
somebody with a
that.
very original take. You have to be like a commie mark mind deciding I'm going to retweet this, but I'm going to do it in my own special way, or I'm going to
Yeah,
be
I'm
that
gonna
guy.
spin it.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I
I
don't
was
see
doing
enough
that.
of that.
I was doing a lot more of that earlier on. I was really trying. If I was going to post a campaign or do something like that, I really tried to do something unique with it. But it's like you can only do so many things in a day.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. But
yeah,
like
Twitter's weird, man. I don't know. I feel like you should easily have over 1,000, just based on the amount of content, original content that you've put out there. I don't it
yeah,
kind of
I mean,
baffles me.
I try to gauge like how good I am off of that, and I'm telling you right now, in the same way you talked about, like I'm glad I'm not big. I'm glad I'm not big in that sense. Like I didn't get blown up out of nowhere and think like all of a sudden, oh, great things are going to come because now I
Right.
have 1,000 people. Like I've been slowly building it up, and like I've been hovering right now around 375, and it's painful because I'll get up. I just got up to like 378, and I dropped right back down to 375 again. Now I'm back up to 378, and I'm just like waiting for the other shoe to fall. Like I swear to God, it's always like 3 spots up, 2 spots back, or something like that. Like every single day I check in, I'm like, oh, I feel
Yeah.
like victories are made, and then like I lose that territory all over again. But I,
Yeah, it's
I
brutal, dude. I
yeah,
when
I
I
don't want
lose
to.
when I lose subs on YouTube, I
Yeah,
honestly I have a little moment of like where I'm like, "Oh, that actually really smarts," and then I'm
yeah,
like, "What the
in a
fuck are you
way,
doing? Who
but
cares?"
yeah,
Don't fucking.
I want the real deal. I want the people. I know I have hardcore followers, and it was funny today. I was like, oh, I wonder what happened to this guy, and I looked him up, and like he's not following me anymore. And I'm just kind of like, oh, I wish I knew when he dropped off, why he dropped off, all that stuff. But I'm not about to like make it a whole like journey crusade to find out like why every person I know or like
Yeah.
remember their names of like. went away. I'm like, man, I feel like I've just been doing the same thing since day one, and in fact, trying to add more in as I go.
Yeah.
Ever since I started this YouTube gig, it's been eating into the time I can devote towards that. But I do feel like this is where you engage people more. You get more exploration of your own personality too, and maybe that's why people are turned off. I don't know, but like you have to take the good with the bad, man, and it's a total chance, it's a total dive. I like the fact that, like, on one hand you have the midday repartee, which is like kind of focused and deliberate, and then you go to Atomic Deuce, where it's just like you do have your own content you do there, but you're just like, all right, I'm gonna sink this whiskey bottle by the end of the night, and as we go on, it's gonna get a little more wild. And I really dig.
I like having the dichotomy of that. I'm more comfortable with the discussion format of midday. I'm not I'm not like a funny man. That isn't really my natural mode, which I guess is why I rely on drinking so much, which is probably not helping anything. But I don't know. I try to have fun. I hope people are having fun.
Yeah. I've always found drinking to be like, for me, like, it improves a number of things, like up to a point, but then it's like I go over the cliff. And I mean, it is the straight dive after that point. It's like, it's good. And then it's just like, dude, you're bombing hard, and you're going to land so hard on the other end of this, And that's where I'm happy, where it's like, oh, only 1,000 people saw that. Thank God.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And it's, I think when we see other people like just having there's such big platforms, and they have such an audience and success, and we see people blow up, I think it's easy to get an unrealistic expectation.
Exactly.
How fast you can do this, how fast you can grow, and it's like you just got to be realistic. It's only going to hurt you if you are not being realistic about how long it takes. You're gonna wind up quitting. You're gonna wind up frustrated and quitting it if you set some unrealistic expectation for it.
Got a Commie Mark t-shirts. I don't think that's communist of you, though. Commie Mark trying to sell you
he's
words,
the most
man.
capitalist guy in CG.
But yeah,
back what I love about one of my favorite things about Commie Mark is he can compliment you while insulting you at the same time. It's a rare talent. He's really good at it.
He is like a fenceman, like he just has that exacting ability to, like, just scratch you like a British Zorro. Maybe you can make something out of that, Commie Mark. British Zorro. Like, he just has that accuracy and that agile cunning that he can use to his own advantage. Like, he seems so laid back as he sits there in his chair, kind of looking very complacent. But then he'll just like have this one-liner that, like, really just digs at what the topic is, or the person on the other side is.
Yeah, his ingenuity and creativity when it comes to his live streams, really impressive, man. It makes me want to, like, when I'm rethink Atomic Deuce and really try to, it's okay, like, showing some funny stuff and having people react and that whole form, but it's just it's so done. It's been so done that it's like I really, when I look at what Commie Mark does, I'm like, man, we should get together as a group and come up with some unique shit that we can do.
Well, have you been on shows with the CG UK guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't really been able to, like, take advantage of that, but I enjoy watching them just because it's like it does really seem like kind of like a random, like, energy, kind of like you never know where it's going to go. You never know how they're going to bounce, feed off one another, and it's kind of like one of Commie Mark's signature annoying traits. It's like when he's on our program, so he's like, "Oh yeah, we already did that on my own show."
Yeah,
we already did that on the Troll Factory, and I'm just like, damn, what like it should be like the question: what hasn't Commie Mark done? Like, What
Yeah.
didn't Common
I
Mark
mean,
do?
dude, the whole when they had Vaughn on recently to do, it was like a murder mystery fucking thing. I don't know if you saw that. It was
Mm-mm.
brilliant, dude. It was so much fun. And it's like it was an unsolvable mystery,
Yeah, they're
but
very, yeah, they're
but it
very
was fun
creative.
as hell.
Yeah, yeah, and like I feel like that's like kind of a very strong showing on their part, you know. And if it wasn't for the time difference, I'm sure they'd make a whole lot more views and everything else too. You know, just it's just unfortunate there's that time difference, but like I totally
Yeah,
dig
it's
what they do when I do catch it. I think it's great.
yeah, what they do. Um,
Yeah,
it's
and I like that
yeah,
too,
it's
Common Mark.
impressive, and it's refreshing. They
I
seem
like this.
fairly
I like this
impervious.
attitude. By the time I do something like 3 times, I'm kind of like I'm trying to mix it up, do something different. Like all the Cecil art I've done, like
Yeah,
it's me trying to mix it up. And right now, like I'm trying to work off this promise of doing the Dick Ryder backup story book, whatever. I'm hoping to push him to do a book.
yeah,
And you know, it's right now trying to nail it down. So I'm trying down different kinds of like styles, looks, and stuff like that as I try to nail it down. But even when I do my own like cast and everything like that, like I listen back to a number of the ones that I do, and I'm just like catching myself over and over again, like repeating stuff, or I have like these like holding lines that I do too. You know, like as I'm trying to fill up the dead air, I'm noticing
yeah,
it, and like, oh God, I got to stop saying that. I got to stop doing that. Like trying to get better at it.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I've been a little lax on it, but yeah, that's definitely something I try to do is try to mix it up, try to add something new, do something different every,
yeah,
not necessarily every single time, but by the third time I've done something, like I've changed my titles so many times, like at this point, and like I'm trying to find like it's sort of like think like what were you talking about the Atomic Deuce, like you feel like you've got something there, but you don't have the solid thing you really want it to be yet. Like I'm
I
still
don't
like
think so.
playing around with it. Yeah.
I don't think it plays to. I need to figure out what I can really bring to the table there.
But I like some of
Um,
the bits you do have that aren't anywhere else. So like Ink Spot's ukulele, Sexy Coloring Time, Crimes of Advertising Past. Those are like solid. Just those are rotten glory
yeah,
bits,
I
man.
agree. I really that's my favorite. Those are my components that I really like. I did, I don't know. Maybe we should get on, like, have a Discord or some kind of group thing
Oh
where we
sure,
can all
man.
get together and, like, we can brainstorm and throw out ideas and come up with some unique ideas for it.
Yeah, I try to throw stuff out there to people who I think are able to execute it better than I can, or as well as I can, or whatever. Or just like I don't have the time to do everything I can think of. So you know, why
Yeah,
not like give it to somebody who's better positioned to do it? You know, that's why I've been feeding you some ideas behind the scenes and stuff like that. Like, dude,
yeah.
I love your show. I'd love for you. Like, here's topics I would like to see people talk about and everything like that.
Yeah, dude, topic ideas are really appreciated. It's it gets more and more difficult. Like, oh shit, what the hell?
Hmm.
What am
Yeah,
I gonna
and
do?
you know, back to the blowing up quick thing. Not that I have anything against him, but Liam, you know, I mean, like I felt like he threw himself into the lion's den. You know, going
Yeah,
off of the playing off of the whole like where people have grievances with one another, and now he's kind of found himself in a place. I don't know. I haven't seen any of his stuff, so I can't say where things have fallen. But I see like people like being like, "You're clearly on the side of this," or "You tried taking down this guy," and he's like, "No, I wasn't trying to." Like, you know, it's one of those things where like you put yourself in a situation where it's like you kind of lose somewhere in the end. And that was the
yeah.
thing I feared when he stepped into that arena. I'm like, at your own risk, man. At your own risk. I love you, buddy, but I don't think this is the way you should
I
go.
think I think he's getting better by the day. I think he's
Probably. I mean, it
becoming a
is.
better host. I think
Yeah,
he's
it
learned
takes
to, like,
practice. It definitely takes practice to get good at this. I mean, more than
yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
he.
dude, big
How many
time.
of those did he do before it went that way? Like 20 something? Like or like it wasn't that many that he did, and then like all of a sudden it's like 1,000 people, and he's
Yeah,
literally having like Chernobyl events taking place on his stream and having to
it's
like
not
navigate it,
difficult these
man.
days.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
difficult,
maybe. I haven't had the
but
time, dude. That's the thing about becoming a creator too, is like having the time to follow, everything that's going on. Ever since I've been trying to do live streams with you guys, do my own like uploads and stuff like that, it's like the time just whittles away,
It does,
whereas
dude.
like I used to just do my drawings as I listened to like what was going on. And not only that, but everyone's been locked indoors, and it's like the live stream content is like doubled, tripled since
It's
that time,
insane, dude.
Yeah. I'd love to keep up, but I just can't. And I just kind of, oh well.
Yeah, it's getting really tough to keep up with everything, and I can't support all the channels and people I'd like to, Again, it's just there's only so much you can do. So you just, I think you just got to find like the people that you connect with the best, that you work with the best, and build out your network.
Exactly,
And
man.
once you
Find
find
your team.
the core
Yeah.
group, like really feed everything you have into building that. Because you can't do everything, you can't be everything to everyone. Find your network, get it locked in place, and just help them succeed, and they will help you succeed. And I think that's where it's at.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Because
That's
dude, like Sim is a guy who just he seems that he's an unstoppable force. This guy is producing an insane amount of work. He does a ton of streaming. He's in chats, dropping links. He's doing the moderator thing. This guy is just giving and giving and giving, and it's like these are the people. Like if you can find a way to connect with people like that, and you have something that you can offer to them, it's like that's the kind of person that you want to connect with, because you can see their work ethic. You can see how passionate they are about Comicsgate, about what they do. And it's like,
Mitchell's one of the standout moderators to have on your chat.
Oh hell yeah, dude.
For sure.
Mitchell is incredible.
And he stepped up. He's been filling in on your show, and I told you I think he's a good voice to have on there. He should be considered a co-host if you're up for it, Mitch. If you're up for it, buddy.
Every time Mitchell is on the show, he brings really good thoughts. I think he has a really good voice, and Mitchell's been awesome for sure.
Let's see here.
CG moves too fast to absorb it all.
Yeah. It's the future, man. It's the future.
Yeah.
I skipped over this too fast.
Yeah. CG's greatest strength will always be it's a weakness in a way. It's kind of how it has to be, and I think we're always going to have these spikes, these surges of like chaos, and then it'll even out. But it's like if we don't allow that, if we try to lock it down and control it, we're going to become the same thing that we tried to break away from. So
I feel like it's going to be
willing to let the chaos happen is part of what it's what makes it CG, and we just have to accept that chaos is going to be a part of this equation. It's going to happen.
I feel like it's going to be self-correcting though. Like where you have these bad apples, they're going to get pruned out, and of course everyone's going to be more cautious. Like everyone's not like just hosting whoever on their thing anymore. It's like you kind of have to prove yourself in some fashion before they let you do that anymore. And ultimately, I mean, the mainstream was built the way it was because it found its way there. Like it's a thing where it's like you're lean and you're a powerhouse, and you can be nimble enough to like navigate with the markets. And there's a point where they get so big they can't turn the ship fast enough, or there's too many people anchoring it down. Like the whole thing is like we've been screaming, this is not the shit we want, and they just have not corrected course. And that's where Comicsgate is made out on it. Now, eventually, I think it's kind of you have to find those solid people. Who's going to be the reliable artist? Who's going to be the reliable writers and editors or fulfillment teams? The fulfillment is one of those like open opportunities. Maybe your book didn't get made and it didn't make the numbers you wanted to, but if you can fulfill everybody else's book, like you can run all the stuff between the printers, shipping, everything else. I mean, there's a huge opportunity there for somebody to make out pretty good and have it as like their own business. It may not be what you wanted it to be, but I think that's
Yeah.
one of those empty departments. Letterers, like we're in like dire need of letterers on some of these books and stuff.
Oh, there's no
Um,
doubt. Lettering and
yeah,
I think coloring as well,
yeah.
for sure.
Like there's
Yeah.
there's a ton of opportunity. There's a lot of like sexy spots I think people want to be in, and they're diving in before they have like a solid base. And like the number one thing that's selling a book right now is personality. Like you weren't sold. You weren't initially sold on Kami Mark's the what's
Oh,
the
that
book
reminds me. I need to refund that shit. What the fuck am I talking about?
Kim Sung book. Like, and I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah. No,
necessarily
he
either, but
exactly.
he won you over. He won me over. And like it's his personality that's selling the book more than anything else. And it's like the fact that he's probably taken the most inventive approach I've seen at a campaign
Hmm.
features and perks and everything else that I've seen anyone do. Not the other side of the spectrum, I would say, is Ethan Van Sciver has been really good about finding like the collector mindset and
Hmm.
like opening up something for everybody. Like the whole fact that you get that chicken fry box for only 2 books.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to spend a ton of money,
Genius.
but you get this. Yeah, so
Yeah.
sometimes the low end, but then you have the honey box for people at the high end,
Yeah.
and he's still keeping some stuff where it's like, well, this is a time like it's not going to be included in the honey box with the whole Ides of March cover and stuff like that. Like you still have to be on the ball. You have to be somebody who's of a vested interest, and there's a payoff for you as a collector down the line for being there at that moment to get that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like
dude.
that's
I snagged 2 of those.
Yeah, I would definitely say like if I were trying to craft my own, I'd be looking at those ends of the spectrum, between like somebody who's like very much playing up the idea of a campaign and where you can have fun with it, and somebody who is looking at like all the different uh, check boxes you can hit on collectability, and also like feeling like you walked away with something good in the end, no matter what you really paid out into it. You don't have to spend an arm and a leg. You can still get something that's collectible from it.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
exactly. I even I made a video on the advocacy network guy. I don't know if you know about this channel, this guy. But he was
is that the douchebag
relentlessly
guy?
he was attacking Wreck Planet campaign, saying it wasn't the
Didn't he?
value
Didn't he
wasn't
do
there.
some? Didn't he do some tweet where he's like, if you break $1 million or something like that, I'll finally say you're the greatest like comics key or comics fund crowdfunder ever. And I'm like, dude, he's already bagged it. He doesn't need your like
Obviously,
stamp of
yeah, of
approval. Like,
course
what
not.
does that
But
mean?
he was trying to convince people that the same value wasn't present in Wrecked Planet as it was for Blood Honey, and I'm like, dude, you're insane. You can still you could back Wrecked Planet $25, just like Blood Honey. You can get
Mhm.
the main book for $25. You're gonna get a laundry list of stretch goals. I'm talking multiple trading cards, an extra book, right? That other extra, I think it's like what is it? How many pages? 32? I
Mhm.
It's some crazy. It's an extra book drawn by
Mhm.
that badass artist. All these incredible stretch goals just for the $25 buy-in. It's
Mhm.
probably got more value in it than Blood Honey did at the same price
Right.
point.
Right. It's
And
definitely
it's
the
like,
stretch
what are you
goal.
talking about?
Yeah. But I
You
mean,
know,
he is working
but
in
if you
another
want, he
field.
gave the opportunity.
Yeah.
If you want to be up here, you can. I
Mhm.
can't. I can't do that. I can't afford that. But
Mhm.
I got a couple of the Ides of March covers because
Yeah.
I'm thinking about doing a giveaway on one of those.
That'd be
Some
good.
kind of
Yeah,
prize
man.
for the channel, something maybe, or I might just sell that shit because it's going to be valuable.
Yeah, and
you know.
one of the books I would probably get. I just had Mitchell comment on one of my recent videos because it's one of the art pieces I recently put up. It's actually the avatar I have right now. I posted the colored version and the line art version. He's like, "Oh, you lost some of that hatching that you did in the line art and the
Yeah.
colored." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. That's why I kind of post." Well, I didn't tell him that. I post them up as a pair because like I saw that happening, And I was just like, I told him in the comments, I'm like, that's part of coloring. And I saw this in Shinobi Sasquatch because Rob Willis does like cross hatching like a fucking master. I mean, this dude is on another level. Like he's I'd say top 10 in the entire like comic book industry that you could pick from. I'm amazed that Marvel DC haven't like thrown him an offer he can't refuse. Like who do you want to work with? What book? How many pages? Like we'll do whatever. Like we just want you on one of our books. Like I can't believe nobody's come at him with that offer. But I told him, like a colorist like can drown out like that line work that somebody does, depending on who it is. Like you do a lot of patchwork like that. I almost feel like flat colors are the way to go because the hatching is doing all the like defining as it goes. And it's really hard to like strike the balance you really want and everything like that. And I'm trying to look for those sorts of things. Like even when I do like these effects, like if you look right now at my avatar, the eyes in it, that's like an effect brush. And like it's like, do I render that traditionally where it just be like kind of solid colors, maybe with a little bit of gradient, or do I work off of this like effects brush? And it doesn't bother me to the point, but like I'm trying to feel it out as I go. So by the time like if I do get locked into this book, like I know what I want to do, I have a vision of what I want to do, and I can just hit the ground running and like go start to finish and have a singular look. Because a lot of people start the book and page 1 looks so far drastically different from page 32, 48.
Oh yeah. Inkspots is he's like you have to do things in a way where you can maintain consistency. It's really important, and that's what if the book we're gonna do first, actually, it's gonna be black and white, which is gonna really fit the tone of what we're doing. It's kind of a punk rock thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like if he's gonna do the coloring, he's like some people they'll do one page and then color it and then do the next page and color it. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, if I'm going to do a project like that where I'm coloring, I'm going to get all the pages done and then I'm going to color all the pages. So my coloring is consistent.
Yeah. If I were him though, I would probably at least play around with it. Like every 5 pages or so, just go in and like try to get a feel for it. So then when you do have all your pages done, you're like, okay, this is what I like. You can scrap ideas rather than trying to because I think I would hit that freeze, that paralyzation thing of like looking at all these pages, and you're gonna have different like tempo or feeling to each of them, and that's gonna influence how you try to color them. Whereas if like you kind of did it along the way, but you didn't do every single page, but like every 5 pages, 8 pages, or whatever, you tried your hand at it just to get a feel. I feel like that would help you at least kind of have an idea of where you want to go. But he's done a lot more coloring than I have, so I don't want to like
he's masterful, dude. When it comes to coloring, he's just taking leaps and bounds forward with inking. It's not something he's done a lot of, and he's going to be inking. I think he's going to do digital pencils on this project, and then
he's definitely got the talent for him. Scotsman, I noticed like those are 2 guys like who can legit draw, but they're stuck coloring other people's stuff. And I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to see what you can do when you're finally doing your own.
He's just gonna blow people's minds, and he's just like watching him pick up the inks, and like Scotsman he's giving him a lot of tips. He's looking elsewhere but watching how quickly he is picking that up is insane. Like the guy is a marvel, and I want this guy to stop having to do that shit job he has.
I know, man. I know.
I'm fucking pissed about it. This guy's a major comic book talent. He shouldn't have to be
fucking just like
shit.
I try to think like how like exhausted he must be at the end of the day, and he still like gets down onto the paper or the tablet, and bangs that shit out. Like, dude, I don't have anything nearly as like strenuous. And even I have trouble, like at the end of the day being like, having that energy.
I need to think about that more often when I'm like, oh man, I'm so red. And I'm like, dude, you don't even know what that is. You haven't done you haven't done a physical day's work like that in like 10 years.
It can be mental exhaustion too, like where you just burned out. Like there's times where like I can't come up with a new idea, and then like I just like what I start doing is I just start scribbling something out, and I wait to see something out of that, like a Rorschach test kind of thing.
Yeah,
So there's all sorts of ways that you can find yourself back into it. But like, there's times, man, where I could stare at a wall for like 30 minutes, and I'd be like, that's an okay use of my time.
yeah. Oh shit, dude. I think he wants to kick off the show at like 7.
Sometime soon, right? Yeah. So
Yeah,
are you
so I
ready
I
to
need to have
bounce
it.
and
Yeah,
recharge? All right, man.
I gotta have
This
a
has been a
cigarette. I gotta fondle my scrotum for a little bit. Get ready.
I got you. But thanks for coming on with me, man. I dig
No,
this. This is a good
this is
first live stream for me.
Your first live stream, man.
Yeah.
With
that I'm hosting.
very
Yeah.
cool.
So if I missed your comments or I sucked chat, I'm so sorry. This is my first time, right? I popped my cherry here.
Yeah, chat engagement's big. You know, it always helps, and it usually leads to some of the best conversation too.
It can, yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, man. Well, thanks for being on with me. I'll catch you soon on Inkspot's channel. You guys.
All right. Are you coming on tonight?
Yeah, I'll be on. All right.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I'll see you there, man. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. And